Today, you tap a glass screen and a car arrives. Travel takes zero physical effort. Most people picture ancient humans as primitive cavemen, scared, slow, and stuck in one place until they accidentally stumbled into a new valley. But they weren't stuck. Early humans were the most relentless migratory force on Earth, and they didn't just move because staying still meant dying. They chased shifting climates, tracked massive herds, and mapped the globe using a biological cheat code. We are going to break down exactly how our ancestors conquered the planet. From a weird spring in your foot, to ancient Ice Age coastlines, to the insane reason deep snow was actually a speed hack. We look incredibly weak on paper. No claws, no wings. But we have one major superpower. We are the ultimate endurance machines. Look at your own legs. Your Achilles tendon acts like a giant rubber band. The arches in your feet store and release energy with every single step. You have millions of sweat glands that let you cool down while faster predators overheat. Some ancient hunter-gatherers could easily walk 30 kilometers before lunch, and even small children walked these enormous distances right alongside the adults. We didn't outrun our prey. We outlasted them. That relentless stamina is how we walked out of Africa and never stopped. Speed was never the point. Unstoppable forward momentum was. But legs have a strict limit. They are completely useless against the open ocean. Most species hit the beach and stay there. Humans did the exact opposite, and the evidence of how they did it rewrites history entirely. So we conquered the land on foot, but eventually our ancestors hit the edge of the map, the ocean. For a long time, we thought early humans were terrified of deep water, but archaeological finds tell a different story. On the Mediterranean island of Crete, researchers found stone tools dating back roughly 130,000 years. Those tools prove early humans reached the island, and since Crete was never connected to the mainland, boats of some kind are strongly inferred. Long before modern humans even existed, someone was floating across the open sea. Fast forward tens of thousands of years to the last ice age. Historians used to believe humans only walked into the Americas across a frozen land bridge, but evidence increasingly points toward a much wilder journey. Many archaeologists now think early travelers bypassed the massive inland glaciers entirely. One leading idea, called the Kelp Highway hypothesis, suggests humans built simple boats and followed the Pacific coastline. They lived off giant marine kelp forests all the way down to South America. For those who figured it out, water wasn't necessarily a barrier. It was likely the world's first expressway. They didn't just survive the waves. They used them to skip past continents. But crossing the ocean creates a terrifying new problem. How do you navigate when there are no landmarks? Without a compass, one wrong turn means starvation. The way they solved this next issue was practically superhuman. You can't just paddle out into the open ocean and hope for the best. You need a map. But our ancestors didn't have paper or compasses. They had to learn how to read the earth. Imagine staring across an empty ocean, nothing but blue in every direction, no landmarks, no horizon lines. Yet, an experienced navigator could close his eyes, feel the swell of the water beneath the canoe, and know an island lay just beyond the horizon. Long after early humans first spread across the globe, some of our greatest seafaring cultures perfected these exact instincts. Take the Marshall Islanders. They built physical maps out of tied sticks and shells, but they weren't mapping land. They were mapping the invisible vibrations of ocean waves bouncing off unseen coastlines. And on land, the techniques were just as brilliant. Picture a baked, dead desert. To find hidden fresh water, travelers didn't just guess. They tracked high-altitude bird migrations, following the exact flight paths of species that needed water to survive. They didn't memorize routes. Every cloud formation, shift in wind, and bird flight was a literal road sign. They had the stamina. They could read the map of the Earth. But as humans pushed further north, they hit a massive wall. Winter. Deep snow usually meant certain death, until someone in the freezing mountains invented a completely new way to move. For thousands of years, extreme winter meant one thing: you stopped moving. Deep snow locked early travelers down for months. But as generations pushed deeper into the frozen north, they stopped fighting the cold. They started weaponizing it. Roughly 10,000 years ago, high in the Altai Mountains, ancient hunters did something unimaginable. Cave paintings show them strapping giant carved wooden planks to their feet. They literally invented skiing. Instead of sinking into waist-deep drifts, they could glide effortlessly across the surface, easily running down prey that was trapped in the snow. And around that exact same time, up in the high Arctic on Zhukov Island, humans did something even wilder. They didn't just tame wild wolves for protection, they selectively bred the world's very first sled dogs. They built physical hauling systems to drag heavy cargo across endless miles of freezing ice. They didn't just survive these brutal environments, they invented specialized gear to completely dominate them. They took the worst weather on Earth and turned it into a high-speed travel network. But there was still one massive bottleneck holding humanity back, and solving it required changing the rules of physics entirely. Dogs solved the cargo problem in the ice, but everywhere else, humans were hitting a physical wall. Your body breaks down if you carry more than 50 pounds over long distances. You could walk 20 miles, but you couldn't walk 20 miles carrying a 200-pound animal you just hunted. So early humans started cheating gravity. Long before wheeled transport became common, they invented the travois. It was a simple A-frame of wooden poles dragged behind a person. By dragging the weight instead of carrying it, one person could suddenly move massive loads, but we were still trapped at walking speed. To actually shrink the world, we had to find a biological engine. Around 5,500 years ago, on the Eurasian steppes, humans began domesticating horses in ways that transformed travel. This changed the math of human existence forever. For 300,000 years, our sustainable travel speed was about 4 miles an hour. Within just a few centuries, it jumped to 30. The world got 8 times smaller. Trade routes exploded. Empires suddenly became possible. But here is the most mind-bending fact of all. Humans crossed oceans, populated the Arctic, invented skis, and tamed horses long before anyone invented the wheel. The oldest known wheel is only about 5,200 years old. We mapped the entire planet without it. And when the wheel finally did arrive, it didn't even start as a transportation device. The earliest wheels actually appear in pottery before they revolutionized transport. It took generations to take that spinning concept and attach it to a heavy wooden cart. But once they did, combined with the raw power of the horse, the modern transportation network was officially born. Which leads us to a hard truth that makes your morning commute look entirely different. Think about it. Your ancestors didn't wait for roads to be paved. They didn't wait for maps to be drawn. They built boats out of logs. They strapped carved wood to their feet. They befriended wolves to pull their heavy cargo. And they walked thousands of miles barefoot into terrifying new lands. Today, you tap a glass screen and a car arrives. But every road beneath those tires exists because someone, thousands of generations ago, decided to keep walking. Every railway, airport, and GPS satellite is really just solving the same problem they solved barefoot. The difference is, they explored an unmapped world. And every journey you have ever taken began with theirs.